Thank you all for being here. Glad I made it on time. It's going to be close today.
Yes.
Well, every once in a while there's construction or
yeah.
a bus or an accident or something, and staying up all night working, doing that kind of stuff. Okay, so I actually didn't read the minutes, unfortunately. I shouldn't admit that, but I didn't, so I'm going to count on you folks for approval. Look them over.
I'll make a motion to approve.
You think they're okay? I hope so. Any second? A second? All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, thank you. I will make sure to remember to read them next time. That's a rare thing for me to not do. Okay, HS1 is a resolution authorizing budget modification to reduce the federal revenue for the Department of Social Services Division of Employment and Training. This has to do with the fact that we're notified that National Dislocated Worker Grant was rescinded because we hadn't had anybody qualify under the grant. So we're forfeiting back $9,511.56. I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion. Second.
Any discussion? Do anything we need to add? It's just we just didn't have anybody that fit the bill, right?
For a year and a half, because they had to be dislocated due to COVID, and it's been too long, I think.
Right. Did we ever have anybody that, even in the past?
We had spent, it was just over 9,000, I think it was about 9,400 that we had spent when we got it in 2020. But we just haven't seen anyone in a year and a half, and I mean, staff is constantly trying to qualify them, but they've got to be laid off, no fault of their own, due to COVID. It's that second piece that just hasn't.
So it's we didn't use the money either then. So.
Yeah, correct.
Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. HS2 is a resolution authorizing budget mod. Department of Social Services to accept federal adult protective COVID-19 funding. This is to accept $4,277.84. Look for a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That says HS3 is a resolution authorizing budget mod, Department of Social Services for court liaison furniture and furnishings. This is for our office furniture for DSS Family Court Office. The existing furniture is old, in poor condition, and needs replacement. Federal state funding will reimburse 62% of the total cost of $4,738, leaving a local share of $1,800. Costs will be covered with unspent salary and wages, and it's budget neutral. We'll look for a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Multiple seconds. Any questions about this? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. HS4 is a resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services, additional hours. DSS services staff have been working additional hours to meet the demand of higher caseloads due to unfilled vacancies. Unless it's changed, we currently have 22 vacancies.
That sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. That's what it said in the memo. So.
Mm-hmm.
So DSS projects the need for additional hours to persist through the end of 2023. Phil, you had a discussion? All set. This is $49,500. I'll look for a motion.
Make a motion.
Do I have a second? Herb, thank you. So did you want to elaborate, or we're good? Do you think this is going to cover us till the end of the year?
It's hard to say.
That's the projection right now.
That's our projection right now.
Okay. So we hope that's right. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. HS5 is a resolution approving an MOU for street outreach services for runaway youth between Oswego County Department of Social Services, Oswego City County Youth Bureau, and Oswego County Opportunities. The MOU will codify the Runaway and Homeless Youth Collaborative between DSS, OCO, the Youth Bureau, and several other private agencies. So I'll look for a motion on this.
Motion.
Got Herb, and we got Frank. Any questions?
Is it dollar value? Is it dollar value of this, Scott?
I can't hear you.
Is there a dollar value?
No.
to this?
No, this just puts in on paper a functioning
Okay.
and existing collaborative, correct?
Existing, correct. It's nothing different than what we have already been doing.
My understanding that the MOU will assist in obtaining federal grant monies.
It's for a grant proposal by OCO, correct?
Any other questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? I did so much to get ready for all of these resolutions, that's why I forgot to read the minutes. Okay, thank you. We passed that one. HS6 is a resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services, to accept rental supplement program funding. This is to accept $432,808 for the rental supplement program. Households must verify that they earn no more than 50% of the area median income at the end of the application to be eligible for rental supplement, and supplements are issued monthly to landlords to assist with rental payments. I'll look for a motion.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or discussion on this? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. HS7 is a resolution authorizing a budget modification for Department of Social Services and their space maximization project. We've had some progress finally filling vacancies, and we need more space. This budget modification moves forward the removal of rolling racks and purchasing of office furniture and equipment. The total local share after state and federal reimbursement will be $11,453 on a total project of $208,474. I'll look for a motion on this. Do you have a second? All right. Phil, you were also going to check on about this, whether this should be a capital project. Was this? Could we
Yeah, we're
agree
thinking
that?
that maybe this should be a capital project rather than making your operating budget, because some of it may go over until next year. Particularly with, it takes so long to get furniture.
It's all ordered, I think, and,
Well, we can't order it until it's approved.
oh, okay.
But he's saying that it's not taking as long to get furniture now at Syracuse Office Supply. Before it was taking months and months, and it's not taking as long.
And I have no problem with it being a capital project as long as it's not slowing down our progress here, because this has been in the making for 3 years, and we get
Right.
thwarted, and we've got to move ahead.
Well, and in the end, it's only $11,453 local share.
You're reasonably certain it'll all be done by the end of the year. That's the only difference between putting in the operating budget versus the
Gotcha.
capital project.
Yeah, I'm reasonably certain. We've talked with Syracuse Office Environments. We're asking for pretty standard stuff. I mean, if there's unusual stuff, maybe there would be a supply chain issue, but
It makes no difference between any reimbursement out whether it's capital or moving the budget.
no. But, Medicaid is right now being funded for the counties. So I would, again, encourage we just move this right along. Get that Medicaid reimbursement while we can.
Right. This is going to have to go through FMP too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
You can't really slow that down.
Hmm?
You can't really slow that process.
Oh, no, it just helps you track it. Especially if it goes over from year to year.
I do have a question.
Sure.
How much renovation is going to be required for the space that you removed for shelving of it?
The renovation is the takedown of the rolling racks.
We have 2 sets of floor-to-ceiling rolling racks on our first floor.
Yep.
It's just disassembling them and removing them, preparing the floor underneath, carpeting, and then putting in the cubicles there.
So say, some ceiling work also, right?
I'm sorry?
I would think you might have some ceiling work and.
It doesn't go
Ceiling.
floor to ceiling.
Oh, no. It's short, just short of the ceiling.
Air conditioned heating, or is it
No,
just storage?
Shouldn't,
Huh?
it shouldn't affect it.
They're not gonna do anything different for us when it comes to our
My
HVAC
question
system.
was, is the existing system in place to take care of the space?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That should be more.
It'll keep them warm in the winter,
Yeah.
cool in the summer.
It'll actually be better because there'll be better air circulation with the cubicles rather than the,
No, there's some, just a storage area, you might need some requirements
right.
mechanically.
No, this is right out on the floor with cubicles all around it.
Legislator Harassing.
Devil's advocate, I really do like the idea of cap. Because then there's nothing that can glitch at the end of the year. I mean, I realize, you feel confident about what you're doing. When you say it's an $11,000 project, well, that's not really true. It's a $208,000 project.
Exactly, 11,000 in local share.
Right. So if anything glitches, we're going to be sitting here in November saying, well, it didn't get spent. So now they're going to go back and look at this again a second time. It really doesn't slow the process down. It just,
Yeah, if it doesn't slow it down, tell us what we need to do, we're happy to do it.
Just changing the budget mod to move the money into a capital project, getting a capital project with Rob, and then we can do that pretty quickly, do that by then.
Oh,
So,
yeah, doesn't matter.
I think it's, it's okay to, so we don't hold up the K-80 anymore, it's okay to pass this here, but F&P can convert it to a capital project.
I just want to protect your project.
Well,
Fill
I
out
think,
that,
Thank you.
should we
I
just make
appreciate that.
make a motion to amend to the,
Well,
Then you can do that.
All right, so I think, make a motion to amend it to become a capital project.
I'll second that.
Phil, are there any additional steps when we purchase things? We can
Nope.
just go ahead.
Nope, you just get a capital project account number and you charge everything to that.
Doesn't put a time limit on it that you're running into a wall.
Right.
You've got space.
I don't know if I've ever done a capital project here. What was? Oh, Northwoods was, okay. All right, just a different account.
You're never too old to learn.
never. All right, all those in favor of the amendment? Any opposed? All those in favor of the resolution as amended? Any opposed? All right, we're going to turn it into a capital project. We're not going to slow you down.
Thank you.
HSA is a resolution appointing a member to the Community Services Board. This is Tori Leclerc to a term that expires 6/30/2027. Look for motion. Second? Anybody? Any discussion? All those in
What's his
favor?
name, Corey?
All right,
What was his name?
Tori Leclerc, he's the former police chief of the city of Wisconsin.
Okay.
That's good. All right, nope. All those in favor? Any opposed? HS9 is a resolution authorizing budget modification Department of Social Services wireless headsets for Assistance Programs Division. This budget modification is to purchase wireless headsets for the Assistance Programs Division. Many positions require daily phone conferencing and interviewing. Wireless noise-canceling headsets will create a more efficient workflow and increased confidentiality. The most cost-effective quote totaled $19,064 for 80 headsets with a 3-year warranty. After federal and state reimbursement, local share $7,244.32. They're going to spend the money out of unspent salary and wages, so it's budget neutral. Look for a motion.
Make a motion.
Have a second?
Yeah, good.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're halfway through resolutions already. HS10 is a resolution authorizing budget modification Department of Social Services, Northwoods Traverse Optimization Project. DSS, you can correct me anytime I'm wrong in any
No,
of this,
you're
please.
doing a fabulous.
Okay, just in case I get something wrong. resolution, I just figured it would go faster this
Yes.
way. So we're authorizing a budget mod, Department of Social Services, Northwoods Traverse Optimization. DSS staff have been working with Northwoods Traverse for over a year, but have experienced a high level of caseworker vacancy and have lost over half their internal trainers. Through this arrangement, Northwoods will help assess how to make better use of the system and train staff in areas where it is needed. Project cost is quoted at $55,080. After 62% state reimbursement, local share would be $20,931. Costs will be covered again in salaries and unspent salaries and wages. Look for a motion.
Make a motion. First, second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. There was some interest in having another assessment of where we are with this too, or whether it is after this goes ahead or not convenient. Maybe on a day when we don't have 17 resolutions.
And what is it you're looking for?
Just kind of an assessment of the whole, Northwoods project, because it's been through a couple changes and, and we think it was been useful. So every once in a while we need confirmation of that.
Yeah, I think a good way to do that might be to bring a couple of our caseworkers in that have used it, and they can tell you right from the end user the efficiency of it.
Well, maybe we'll do that after, when is this supposed to begin, the assessments?
We haven't set dates yet.
Pardon me?
We haven't set dates yet.
Oh, I haven't said that yet. Okay, so we got a first and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes. HS 11 is a resolution authorizing a budget modification to accept contracted funding from Center State Corporation for the Department of Social Services Division of Employment and Training. To accept this contracted funding from Center State Corporation as the Regional Commercial Driver's License Workforce Strategy Consultant. The Workforce Development Board, Center State CEO, and partners are working to establish industry partnerships which will align a strategy to add more CDL training slots to the region. This strategy will be designed specifically to attract and retain diverse talent in CDL-related careers and include paid training with local providers and work-based learning with local employers. Budget modification will increase revenue for the Workforce Development Board by $20,431. There's no local share. Look for a motion. Okay. I'm going to let somebody else talk.
Okay, I guess that's me.
Tell us all about this. And you can introduce Heather too. For everybody on the committee that doesn't know Heather, she's our new mobility manager for Oswego.
So we actually at Workforce were approached by Center State CEO after the couple cohorts we've done with training the public transit bus drivers and school bus drivers over the past few years. What we're looking for, and the need for this has ramped up since National Tractor Trailer School in Liverpool closed last month abruptly, is to develop a training program that can be replicated across the CDL industry. I mean, even with a CDL-A, every different portion of the industry needs different endorsements and just various road time before they can take their driver's test and whatnot in different trucks. So we're working with Center State Mobility Management. Heather's on board with us as well. And we've been actually having a lot of conversations with Keith Titus Corporation and Page Trucking, trying to come up with a model for training where it is zero cost to the participants, and they actually will be paid a hourly wage throughout their training and have guaranteed employment at the end of it in whichever industry partner we are looking at, whether it's tanker trucks, your regular distribution, CDLBs, any B shipping trucks, buses, We're trying to find something that we can really replicate across because it's such a need across all different industries. And we want to have this up and running and show some success prior to everything that can be coming down the line with Micron and all of the other supply chain that's going to come along with that.
Cool. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'm just going to finish signing these very quick. So I can have my full attention on whatever we're doing. Still a couple more coming. All right, we are on HS 12. Resolution requesting a budget modification for Youth Bureau, correcting the budget line for the 2023 New York State Runaway Homeless Youth Aid. These numbers are not going to zero out because of discrepancies in the fiscal year ending between New York State and ours. There's no impact on local dollars. What was the total amount of that? I don't have that on my note here.
Two different values. The two numbers, 28,235, and then 20,438.
Oh, right. All right. Any questions for Brian? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. HS 13 is a resolution authorizing the reclassification of two positions in the Office of the Aging. It's to reclassify Senior Case Manager Aging. It's to Case Manager Aging, and an Account Clerk to Senior Account Clerk within the Office of Aging. This request is due to two upcoming retirements and the reevaluation of staffing. The changes will be budget neutral this year, but I question whether that will be next year. But before we do that, I'll look for a motion.
Motion.
So will it be budget neutral next year?
Yes, there'll be a savings for a full year. There's like $18,000 savings if it were a full year this year. So there'll be a savings next year as well.
Any other questions for Sarah? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. HS 14 is a resolution pending contract RFP number 19-HD-005, Senior Nutrition Services Office of the Aging. The contract amendment is to remove a senior congregate meal site location and add new senior congregate meal site location. The participants in Hannibal currently receive grab-and-go meals and have stated they do not wish to take advantage of a sit-down meal. Without the desire for the sit-down meal, OFA and OCO began discussions to close the Hannibal site. There were 7 participants in March. 2 have transitioned to home-delivered meals. 2 were Cayuga County residents who were referred to Cayuga County, and 3 received grab-and-go meals in April. The last 3 participants are resistant to sit-down meals and refuse to be assessed for home-delivered meals. OFA received an official closing letter for the Hannibal site effective June 14. There's been no congregate dining site in Pulaski since the closure of the Sandy Creek Dining Center in 2014. OFA surveyed seniors residing at Springbrook Senior Apartments in Pulaski. Of those surveyed, 95% said they would be interested in attending a senior dining site. OFA and OCO have worked together to find a location in Pulaski at the new Selkirk Landing housing complex. The community room is available to use and OCO manages the property. There will be no additional cost to OFA, just the cost of the meals. So I'll look for a motion on this.
Second.
A motion and a second. Should I begin up for a question? So the additional meal costs, is that referring to the next, or you just don't know what it's going to be in the end?
Right, the only cost we're going to incur is every time a meal is provided, we get charged for that meal. So not knowing per se how many people will be participating, that's the only additional cost. Which is already factored into our budget, so it's not, I don't anticipate any additional cost.
So everything's, how soon do you think that one will be up and running?
Well, they'll have to advertise for a site manager, so depending on how quickly they can get a site manager in there, they'll be ready to go ASAP.
Any other questions?
And the prices don't include the additional cost discussed in per meal.
Correct. Because it's across the board, what we pay them for meals is across the board.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. HS 15 is a resolution amending contract RFP 19 HD 005, the same contract, Senior Nutrition Services, Office of the Agent, due to continued supply cost increases. OCO has requested an increase in the per meal cost it receives from home delivered and congregate meals. The requested increase will require a budget mod as well as an amendment to the contract. OFA received a request from OCO to increase the per meal cost from the 2023 budgeted amount of $6.47 per meal to a new per meal cost of $7.65. Our contract is for a guarantee of 249,600 meals. 2023 budgeted number of meals is 261,000, total of $690 and $199. OCO states the need for the increase is due to a 20% increase in wages, 46% increase in food costs, 26% increase in disposables, meals, trays, napkins, and a 64% increase in fuel, as well as increases in vehicle depreciation, vehicle insurance, and rent. I'll look for a motion on this. I'll look for a, let's see, any questions about this? I think it's pretty obvious that a lot of costs have gone up. Now, this, so this is coming from the fund balance, the 204,000. That is
We have some money, ARPA funds, that is earmarked for congregate meals. That is strictly OFA ARPA funds, not county ARPA funds. So $127,650 of our ARPA meal funds will go towards the increase.
Okay, I got it. So the 77,145.80 is what we're looking for.
Correct. For 2023, and our contract is up for negotiation, and we can see what it would be for 2024, but this is for 2023.
What did you say, how much?
After the ARPA funds that she's going to use, it's $77,145.80 is what I got.
That's not what your budget sheet says. $77,146.
I did.
Oh.
I did that because Steve Ludwig used to tell me to even it to
It's
$1.
20 cents difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I got.
I'm reading.
Yeah.
It's budget sheet.
I got 2 dimes in my car.
I didn't ask Veronica that, but I know previously Steve always said to do it easier to the whole dollar.
Listen, I used to be an accountant. That got me in trouble.
All right. So that, I'm going to call it 77,146. And thank you for keeping a watchful eye out, Jim. All right, any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution carried. HS 16 is a resolution for additional supplemental services required for the Camp Polish Shoreline Stabilization Project, RFP 21-YB-001. Not sure my notes jive with this here. Look for a motion on this. So Barton and Judas has proposed a change order for supplemental services for the Camp Polish Shoreline Stabilization Project. This supplements a December 2021 agreement for design. These services are associated with additional design effort associated with the redesign of the project to accommodate the comments received from New York State DEC, as well as the addition of construction observation services. Current agreement stops at bidding. Currently, there is no time built in for construction oversight. There are sufficient funds within the project budget. Anything else you want to address on this, Brian?
No, I mean, you hit the nail right on the head. So the DEC wanted some changes to be done, so Michael just had to make those changes. So this is the additional cost. And then from consultation with a few people, including Victor, on the contract observation pieces needed for the project.
And the amount is $40,200.
Correct.
All right. And I did get a motion in a second, correct?
Yep.
Any other questions?
Budget sheet for that.
There's no budget.
It's in,
It doesn't change it. Oh, there's no budget. Thank you.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries. Okay, HS 17. End of the road for the resolutions today. Resolution awarding professional services contract for RFP 23-YB-001, Architecture and Engineering Services, Camp Zerby Bathhouse. I'll look for a motion, and then we'll go to our professionals here for some information. Look for a motion. Herb? Got a second?
Second.
Mike. Who wants to go on this?
No, Holly does. She loves it.
Holly, because you came all the way up.
Just in case there was a problem. Well, we had two, we sent it out to multiple people, as you saw. We had two proposals come in. And it looks like we went with the higher, but that's because the lower person did not, they weren't the responsible bidder. They had all exclusions and the health department engineer did not like the exclusions. So we're going with the one that bid on the project as stated.
All right, any other questions?
What project is this? Is this the
Bathhouse.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, pretty busy, before people that showed up, explained pretty in detail what the requirements were, and that it was a little lower than this could be accepted to have American sense values. This guy did this company did what was specified.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 17 resolutions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're good job. You get something, you're good.
Why, thank you. It's good to be prepared, even if you forget to read the minutes.
Right. You get forgiven now. Was that?
Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Next item is appointment of members to the Youth Bureau Advisory Board. What do you got, Brian?
I have one new member, replacing an existing one. Normally this just goes to the chairman for my bylaws that he has the authority to approve, but, so she's a young person. Her mom actually works in the health department. She volunteers in numerous places.
I think what happens is sometimes we refer to the chairman.
So this is just a young person who would be replacing a vacancy on the board. I think her information is in the packet.
All right, well, I'll make a motion to put her name forward to the chairman. Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The last one.
Well, it's a young person, we don't need to put the name public anyway.
And the state would love us to have all young people if you really listen to them, but yet they encourage us to have as many as we can.
Well, you have a few.
Yep. Well, the good thing is searching out this one, I believe she's a sophomore in high school, so as you know, being on the board, we get like a junior or senior, then go off to college and your days.
Right. Okay, on to our reporting departments, and Department of Social Services is up first.
So I have the heat, kind of end of the year, you know, it's a 12-month season, but you can
It's been a
see.
cold spring.
Yeah, so you can see we ended up with 15,396 benefits authorized, $9.2 million distributed across low-income families for regular benefits. The auto pays, because folks were already open on SNAP or financial assistance. So that was 31,942 benefits authorized at 13.5 million. So in total, that's $22.7 million was distributed in heat payments across Oswego County. You can see some of the supplemental, the emergency benefits, a little less money there, and the heating equipment replacement and repair. Typically, that's when we get called when there's a red tag on a furnace and we have to come in and replace it. But as you can see, we are really maximizing this federal benefit for our low-income families across the state. And it was a heavy lift this year because we just couldn't seem to find our seasonal workers in the way we have always counted on them in the past. Being that our seasonal heat workers were down, along with our social welfare examiners having a lot of vacancies, it was a lot of overtime, especially during the cold months. Our workers were in on evenings and Saturdays to keep up with emergency heating situations. I don't know if you have any questions about heat or the stellar performance by a small but devoted team.
No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Yeah. We've also, I just wanted to let the committee know, you may already know this, that on June 29th, there is a group of your fellow legislators, Lockwood, Chesbrough, Solway, and Scanlon, that will be meeting with our leadership team at DSS for about an hour and a half to go over our pressure points. I'm having family assistance or financial assistance director of child support, director of accounting, and our services, child and adult services division directors meet, and Marty and I. So Marty will take care of kind of an overview of our pressure points when it comes to facilities and the infrastructure needed to support our operations, and then our directors over those programs will express to them what their respective program issues are right now. We won't get into the federal and state changes. We'll keep it very current, very present to Oswego County, but I can tell you there is a huge impact occurring on us because of federal legislation and state legislation. More and more unfunded mandates are expected of us, are expected of our services division, are expected of our attorneys, more meetings for our attorneys. This all increases the cost of everything we do at DSS. Since we only have an hour and a half, that's kind of my bail. I won't go down that road. So, but do want you to know that the committee to know that we'll be meeting with that, with the legislators, per the chairman. And I think that's it, unless anybody has any questions for anything else? Anything you'd like me to address or talk about? Okay.
All right, thank you. Sarah, off stage.
I passed out my update, my office update. Items I thought would be of interest. We still are accepting nominees for our Senior of the Year up through June 9th. So if you know of anybody, please refer them on to us or provide an application so we can get them recognized. We are celebrating the longest day on June 15th. It's not the longest day of the year. The longest day is June 21st, but we celebrate every year at the Oswego Farmers Market, which happens to be June 15th, Thursday at 5 o'clock. Anyone who'd like to attend, there'll be a brief presentation, and then we'll have a guided walk around the bridges. We request people to wear purple. Purple is the color for Alzheimer's and dementia awareness. And we're hoping that we'll see a lot of people. We also have purple chain links that are being distributed to all the businesses on West First Street to help bring awareness as well. June 15th is also World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. So we do have a display at the Office for the Aging. There's 24 pinwheels in front. 23 of them are purple. One of them is silver. The 23 are for the 23 unreported cases of elder abuse. The silver is for the one. So every 24 cases, 23 of them go unreported. We just found out, well, farmer market coupon season is right around the corner. Farmers market's open this weekend, I believe. We received notification that we should be receiving 800 booklets this year. Last year we received 680. So we are getting those additional ones back that we had lost last year. They're worth $25, so it's 5 coupons worth $5 each in each booklet. The first 650 participants will also receive a container garden so they can grow their own dill. And we're also working with the Food Pantry of Central New York to try to have fresh food box distribution as well at our Fulton drive-up event. And the container gardens as well as the fresh food box is part of our Shine grant. Still have that. As soon as we receive official notification of the coupon books, and when we receive them, we'll start scheduling events to get them distributed. The first big location will be in Fulton with the drive-through event. We'll also have an event in front of our office out front, and then we'll be at the farmers markets and around the county, different locations distributing coupons. Last year, they were all distributed within 11 days. We have a few more coupon booklets this year, so maybe 14 days to distribute them all, but we started receiving calls in March asking us if we had the booklets yet. We're trying to get the utilization rate. We don't have that yet. We did reach out to the state a couple of times to find out how many book coupons are actually being utilized at the markets. As soon as we have the information, we'll share that with you as well. We launched our new communication service through Blooming Health. I mentioned that previously, so our first message was introducing our participants to the service, and they could opt out at that time if they didn't want to receive future notifications. Our first official from the Office for the Aging was a reminder that our offices were closed on Memorial Day. We just sent out another notification. Actually, it was a survey surveying our home delivered meal clients. There was a series of questions, 4 questions that they could answer. Are your meals being delivered on time? Are you satisfied with your meal? Does your driver greet you? And are there any items you'd like added? So we did get that feedback. We had 145 people respond to that, so we're getting good feedback off of that survey option with it. We notified them of the longest day event, and we'll be having a little just PSA regarding elder abuse awareness on 15. So they're receiving them via text message, email, or phone call. Email is the last option. Most of it is via phone call because our seniors mostly have a home phone as opposed to email. We celebrated with our first, or recognition of our first 100 plus aged participant. So Savannah from Public Information came out with us, and we had one of our home delivered meal participants. She turned 104 last week, so we brought her a little treat and gave her a card, and we had her picture taken and put a little press release out to recognize her in the community. We're going to be doing that for any of our people that we know, because we keep track of their age. We have to record their date of birth. Any of them that would like to receive that recognition, we will go out and do so. Anybody age 100 or older. And in the press release that's going out, anybody who's not an OFA participant, if they know if somebody is celebrating it, we certainly would like to recognize them as well and send a card out to them recognizing them on their 100 plus birthday. And we received unofficial notification from the State Office for the Aging that they will be performing their on-site nutrition evaluation this year. So their nutrition person will be coming out, going to the kitchen in Mexico, going on a home-delivered meal route, as well as going to a congregate meal site to monitor and evaluate the operations. And then I'll be completing a lot of paperwork and following up with policies and procedures and what goes on administratively to them as well. This will be the first time they've been in the county or in our doing this in person since prior to COVID. So hopefully they won't find anything. They're always very complimentary to our service, and we're one, even though our county, we might have our square mileage here in the county is big. Our population is not as big as some other counties, but we're one of the largest nutrition meal programs in the state, other than your larger metropolitan areas. So we we get a lot of meals out to our people in the community, so we've never really, I mean, they've always been very impressed with the operations that we've had, so I feel that that's going to continue on with this evaluation. So that's really all that I have.
Great. So the surveys that you're doing with the telephones, I mean, that could be helpful for Heather too, but checking out how things are going for the elders at certain transportation programs.
Yes, we provided them with different databases. So we did a database for home delivered meals. We did one for congregate meals. We did for case management. So it's not all of our people that are in our system. We kind of narrowed it down to different populations that we address, and transportation is one of them as well.
So you want to take a second to kind of report, Heather, on some of the stuff that's going on having to do with disadvantaged folks and people with disabilities, people with opposite aging clients that using transportation?
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Sit at the table for a second. Heather's been doing a great job in her first month.
I appreciate that. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that for Sarah's new congregate meal site, we potentially could have OPT 13 and OPT 14 public transit routes help with the transportation. We just have to coordinate with the time that the congregate meals are going to be happening. But OPT 13 and 14 in those areas doesn't have tremendously high ridership, and so if we can coordinate the times to work with that, that's also going to help increase the public transit ridership.
Right. It's because the money we get has to do with how many people get on the buses.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, we do get reimbursed for STOA is the funding source that you're looking for. I'm very excited this year. I've been working very closely with Gary Mashaw over at OCO to bring back the farmers market routes for the 2022 year, and so we're looking at farmers market routes in Oswego as well as in Fulton. I want to bring them back to Pulaski, but if anyone can help out with this, please let me know. But Pulaski is really struggling with getting a second farmer up to their farmers market up there, and so they're not able to accept the SNAP and the WIC and the senior coupons because they need to get an approval to have a second farmer up there. So right now we're just focused on Oswego and Fulton. We have special locations like Towpath Towers. One of the big things I got back from seniors last year is they wanted to go to the Oswego market as well, and so they will get the chance to go to the Oswego market this year as well as the Fulton market. Seniors won't be on the bus longer than 15 minutes. So we structured the routes to make sure that when the seniors are picked up, that they get on the bus and they get off the bus quickly on their way into the market and the way home. The bus is going to come around more often this year, and so we'll see the bus come around every 30 to 40 minutes at each market. So if people don't want to stay around for a long time, they're also going to be given more opportunities to go to each market throughout the time frame, and so more opportunities to get to different healthy food sources. We're going to look to start the routes in mid-July, which is peak produce season. That way people can get to the market when they have more than just strawberries. So we should run the route for about 10 to 13 weeks, just depending on our contract. So as soon as we have the marketing come out, I'll make sure to distribute the route brochures and the flyers and go around. I've already called all of the facilities along the draft route that we have, and they're very excited. We have some new locations on there. So I'd love to go over that with you and just have you take a look at that as well as DSS. But we have new locations on there that we didn't hit last year, so I'm excited that we're expanding it a little bit to get to a larger group of people. And one of the feedback that I heard last year was to get yard signs that say this is where the bus stops. Well, we're confused about where they are going to wait for the bus, and so this year we're going to have very clear signs that just say Farmers Market Bus Stop, and we will put them there. People can stand there. We've also added 2 stops at facilities that are larger. So an example is Gilbert Grove and Emery Grove in Fulton. Gilbert Grove is the senior facility, Emery Grove is the low-income housing, and so we have a stop at both to make sure that both groups of people can be picked up. Same thing with like Hamilton Homes. So Hamilton Homes will have a stop on either side of the facility because it's so large, and that way we can make sure we capture the entire audience to go to the market. And I promise I won't take up all of your time, but if you guys haven't picked up one of these brochures, this is a 12-month pilot program through OCO for an on-demand service that's open to all ages. This is a bus that will come directly to your home and take you anywhere in the county. So I do have these forms as well, which go along with it. People are always saying it's really confusing. We don't know when it's just 60 and older, and we don't know when it's open to all ages. And so I'll pass these around later on so you guys can see which days it's for 60 and older and which days it's all ages. But this is a pilot program, so we need people to use this service. I do have tokens for both of these services or for access. So if people need tokens and they want to try this out, I can give them tokens to try out the service. But this is going to help people get to wherever they need to go in the county. And so if you don't have one of these brochures, our class is out so you guys can have a copy. But it's very exciting to have this service around. If you guys remember the call-in ride, this is a pilot to replace the call-in ride system, which now seniors will have access 5 days a week if they wish to transportation when a bus comes directly to their home. So expanding access to all ages, but also to the senior population to have both of these services work in conjunction with each other. The last thing I have to say, just really quickly, is annual transportation resource documents. I'm working on a resource document that we can update annually that's going to list every single transportation program and every single transportation resource, you know, whether it's fee-based or donation or contribution-based, whether it's a specialty service, what days and hours it's available. And these will be passed out to all of the human service agencies. We'll have a version that's ready for the public. But this way someone can have an easy reference to say, hey, this is one document that lists every single benefit and program that we have in the county. And we can update it yearly because, as you guys know, as soon as we get something printed, it goes out of date. So we'll get it updated yearly. And if you guys need help with travel training or people don't feel comfortable riding the bus, reach out to me. I'll ride the bus with them, teach them how to read the bus schedules, whatever you guys need, just let me know.
Awesome.
That's all I have.
I've wanted that document since 2017.
I made it happen. It's being made
Yes, you did.
into a public-friendly version. That's not so
Even better.
about it. So you'll see that soon.
So can we get some of those at the meeting?
Yes, I'll pass them around.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Sure.
Last year, the farmer's market was a pilot program. Is there going to be a fair this year for riders?
This is a really great question. So we used Department of Health money last year to fund the entire program. We put the program into our public transit contract, so now it's actually going to be funded by state operating transit assistance, and so it will be a sustainable funding source. That funding source does require 30 cents fare per passenger, which we can supplement out of another funding source. Either that's through sponsorship, Department of Health monies, whatever it may be. Again, it's dependent on ridership, and so we do have sustainable funding, and we'll get the fares covered, so it will still be free to the general public.
Great. Any other questions for Heather? Here we go. Brian, you are ready over there?
I'm ready. All right. Okay, so I will go rather quickly. So on May 17th, we had our youth summit at the fairgrounds. We had over 600 8th graders in attendance, 35 vendors, 8 school districts. Legislature Krasick was our MC for the day. Other than the temperature being cold, I think it went fairly well. It's a good thing to do every year that, you know, we're able to get the schools all out there and give them a good taste of what kind of employment opportunities are available in Oswego County, and then to put the students on the right track as they're in high school for what path they may want to take for careers that they're interested in being in. So, again, thank you to Legislator Krasick for his help that day. Camp houses quickly. Well, the camps as we're going out there. Camp Zerby is officially sold out for the summer. We're at capacity, so we have a waiting list. We'll be starting, which is, you know, it's always a good thing. You don't want to actually have a waiting list, but it's good that the interest is there. Camp Alice, we have 606 registrations so far that are paid. That equals up to be 289 day camp and 317 overnight. 2 of the weeks are completely sold out for overnight, and day camp is completely sold out. Again, looking for a waiting list there. We are still looking for a lifeguard counselor. If anybody knows anybody, we will help them get certified. The only problem with that is they have to be ready for training by June 15th or 16th, because that's when it will take place. If you go to our webpage, you can get all the information off there on any kind of job openings we have. We do have some AmeriCorps openings, which I have flyers that I can pass around here. We are hiring for the summertime. Fort Ontario, Catholic Charities, Harborfest, Bookmobile, Parks, Hannibal, and Scruple are all looking for members for their sites. So again, if anybody's reaching out looking for something to do this summer, we do have jobs for those. Also, just going to give you a couple quick flyers of things we have going on. In Hannibal, we have a summer bash coming up in a couple weeks. There's some information on that. And then also here in the city of Oswego, we have at Brightback the Kids Annual Yard Sale, as well as a fun day. It's a great opportunity for our young people to be able to have a yard sale at Brightback. They earn a little bit of money, teaches them a little bit on how to go about doing those kind of things. So those are things that are happening. I have finally been bitten by the bug of vacancy issues, and I have a vacancy in my office right now that's driving me crazy, but I got a lot of people calling me on it, so that's a good thing. So that's where we are.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
I saw our agenda and I thought it was going to be a meeting, so I didn't get a lot of stuff.
Well, you just never know, do you?
So I was talking to Veronica while I was on vacation. So
We could have 5 things on the agenda and go for an hour and a half. Okay, Matthias.
So Mr. Boozer can't make it, so I have a set of notes that he provided. He met with Kelly Jordan and Savannah Wyckoff and started sending out news releases for upcoming veteran events around the county and planned to do monthly veteran information releases to county employees. He also attended the Health Equality and Access Forum at the Oswego Elks Lodge and made some good connections to community organizations that will benefit our veterans and to help eliminate some barriers such as transportation. The office will be tabling at the Center Million Veteran Resource Fair June 13th at the same location. That's at the Oswego Elks Lodge here. We received Fresh Connect checks and started passing them out to local veterans. News release was sent and contacted Sean Mills, who's a local County Legion commander, to spread the word as well. Still looking for who all we need to get involved in providing a desk space for a clear path for veterans. Bernadette at the Oswego VA is looking to see if they can use the office there as well. They would like to offer the use of the office in Glasgow when we aren't using it. Like us, ClearPath is trying to bring services to veterans as well. And last note, started getting items for tabling events. So right now we recently purchased a tablecloth and have a banner on order through Port City Printing, and also does our business cards and brochures. So that's all I got today.
Any questions regarding veteran services? All righty then. Yes, sir.
Could you possibly make up a brochure or something I can pass out that shows when you're in Pulaski, when you're at the different offices, so they can post that and you can give it to people when you come to Pulaski? You come up there twice a month, right?
Every first and last Thursday of the month. But yeah, I'll let Mr. Boozer know. We can go from there.
And also, I want to thank your director coming out to Williamstown and met me out there for Memorial Day, and he gave a speech out there for the veterans. And then he went to American Legion and I introduced him to Commander out there. So they had a great time. He passed out books for the coupon books and everything, and it was a very good thing. I was glad he came out.
No problem.
Excellent. Any other comments, questions? I'll look for the appropriate motion. Motion to adjourn. Second. All those in favor? Thank you all very much.